chat with my friend about
Life.
life and why I want to draw for you, and why you should. Really beautiful day, isn't it?
It is.
It's really gorgeous.
Signs of spring. Like, I'm just noticing behind the camera, there's like all the little catkins coming out.
I know. Oh, it's such a nice change, isn't it? It's so nice to just feel the sunshine again.
Definitely. Everywhere is actually coming back to colour, isn't it? Like there's, everywhere looks a little bit greener every day.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason I've started drawing again really is because when I was a kid, I used to draw all the time. I had little notebooks, I had bits of paper with me everywhere. I was always writing stories, I was always illustrating things, and I just had to have a pencil with me. I'd always got like pencil marks on my fingers. And when I kind of got a little bit older, I realised that I was probably a little bit of an oddball, and I was a little bit isolated from the other kids. So I kind of put my drawing and painting and stuff away and didn't really, I just sort of put it to one side and focused on trying to be normal and fit in. And because really, like, my art is like a representation of it's something that comes from inside you, isn't it? And you sort of put yourself on a page, and it was sort of a way of like shutting myself off and trying to be someone else, I suppose.
Yeah, not feeling safe, like almost to share yourself in that way. So it's like, better keep it inside.
Yeah, just keep it shut away. And when I got a little bit older, and I guess I started to get more comfortable with my life and started to figure a bit more out about who I was and what I actually enjoyed doing and what I liked doing, I suddenly realised like how much I missed drawing.
Yeah.
And I missed art supplies. I missed all of that. And when I first got it back out again, picked the pencil up, it was just like an old friend, and just smell the pencil. And
I was just going to say that, like when you walk into an art shop and you just get that smell.
Exactly.
It's like, oh yeah,
It just, you can't describe it, can you? When you really love something, you just get this feeling like you're home almost, you know.
Yeah.
And I started drawing. It was a bit like riding a bike. It did come back like straight away. Obviously, I hadn't got any better in like 10, 20 years, but I could still draw, and it just came back to me really quickly. And I thought, this time I'm going to be really brave, and I'm going to see if I can sort of let a bit more out, let it out.
And to start with, when you're just doing it for yourself, it doesn't matter what it looks like, does it? It's all that, how it feels on the paper, like all that sensory experience, I suppose, like how it smells when you open the pencil and what memories it brings back and how it feels to make those marks.
Oh, it was exactly like that. It just took me back to just sort of an escapism, really.
Yeah.
As soon as you're drawing or something like that, you just sort of escape, and it really focuses you in the moment as well. Like, it really gives you something to focus on.
Yeah.
And I think as I started doing it a bit more, I suddenly realised that it wasn't really about the drawing, it was more about myself. Because the more I put my work for other people to see, like you say, when nobody's looking at it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But as soon as you let people see it, it's like you're showing them a part of yourself and they're judging it, and it's a very frightening experience. You don't really want, to put yourself out there. So very tentatively just putting a little bit out there, and as I get braver, I put a little bit more out there and a little bit more out there, and it's not a fast process, because I think that apart from the fact that it takes years to develop a skill, no matter what it is. In this case, it's trying to be good at drawing, but whatever the skill is, it takes years of practice. It's also the fact that you're putting yourself on the line, and I think I will only put out there what I'm brave enough to show of myself. So
you're letting yourself be vulnerable, aren't you? Which is especially brave after you felt like you needed to shut it away when you were younger.
Exactly.
To be able to stand and be like, right, now is the time, I'm going to be myself, and this is who I am, and I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, and that's a bit why I'm doing this video, because I mean, there's so many wonderful artists out there, and I think if anybody's interested in commissioning me for a piece of work, they understand that it's not just someone spent an hour doing a bit of drawing for you. You've got a whole person's life and love and time and skill is going into that piece of artwork that you're going to own.
Yeah.
So, you kind of need to know who the artist is a little bit in order to know
Definitely.
whether they're the sort of artist that you want drawing your animal or whatever it is you want, whether it's an illustrator or something like that.
Yeah.
You need to know that you're sort of on the same wavelength as them, really, because they're getting a little part of you.
Yeah. We were just saying before, weren't we, about how it's almost like you're putting a little bit of your soul into there, and the picture almost becomes a little bit of a window into your soul, so you're like really reaching out and connecting with the viewer.
Yeah, that's how it feels. That I am literally putting a piece of me out there, and you're owning that.
Yeah.
And I do want it to be as good as I can make it. I'll put as much into it as I can, and I appreciate as well that art is not cheap, because it is a luxury to have a
Yeah.
piece of art, and when you get a piece of artwork, it is something that has taken years and years to get into it. So it's not just, you're not just paying for a couple of hours of time, you're paying for a lifetime of experience. So
Yeah.
so definitely when I am doing a picture, it's a lot more than just a picture that I get paid for. So
And it's completely something to be treasured then, is it? Like a whole original, unique thing that has been done, like just for you or whoever you're commissioning the piece for.
yeah, it's a one of a kind piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. And with each piece I do, I get better and more confident as well. So I do really appreciate when people do ask me, because it gives me the confidence to continue to grow and get better.
Yeah.
So
So they, like your customers, almost become part of your journey as well. Like,
yeah,
that's so lovely to have it working both
Exactly.
ways.
exactly.
Yeah, what an exciting journey to be on. all coming from a bit of paper and a pencil to
Yeah.
start off with, and
Yeah,
look where it's brought you so far and how far it could take you.
yeah, I do. I really love it. I just absolutely love it when I'm in the moment, and especially as you're drawing, it starts to pop out of the page. It almost becomes like, who's that artist with the rock, who he saw the sculpture in the rock and he just had to let it go, release it from the rock. Is it like
Oh, I don't
Leonardo
know.
da Vinci or someone?
Not sure, but sounds feasible.
But it's like that when I'm drawing on the paper, it starts to almost come out of the paper, like it's three-dimensional, and I feel like with each stroke I'm kind of releasing it out of the paper. Not that it's a blank piece of paper, it's just waiting to be released out of it. And I think when you get that sort of feeling, it's sort of another level,
Yeah.
and I sometimes do get that feeling. I think, oh, this is what art's about.
Yeah. Almost like you've been taken over and you're just bringing it to life. Like
Yeah.
it's there ready and you're just.
Yeah, I'm just a tool
Yeah.
that's bringing it out. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I just sit there doing something, and something happens, and I don't really know why or how. It just does it on its own,
Yeah.
and that's really, really nice.
So with your artwork, Holly, what made you particularly focus on animals?
Well, long pause. Well, I've always really, I've always loved animals since I was little, and I had millions of pets.
Mm-hmm.
I used to rescue animals all the time. I hated to see any kind of animal that was trapped or shut in. I think I felt quite an affinity with them, because animals sort of live in the moment, and they're very joyful and alive, and anything that kind of dims that light sort of causes them to suffer. And I just wanted, I could feel them when they were alive, so I was living through them almost. And so I just couldn't stand seeing any kind of suffering. I just wanted to set every animal free that I sort of saw. So I ended up with loads of animals, and they always made me feel so calm and connected to them, and like I could be myself around them. So really just drawing animals in nature, really, it's just another way of connecting to them and connecting to their life force, really. It's sort of, you can feel the life force in all living things, and art is just one way of expressing that life force.
So almost spending that time like helping the animals' lights to be as bright as possible, and then it's almost come through as inspiration into your artwork.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, animals are very healing for us as well, you know. And I think that's part of it. So I want to help them, they help me. It's definitely a two-way situation. And so I've had animals my whole life, and I have surrounded by them now. I've got horses and rabbits and dogs and guinea pigs, or anything really. I could just, if I had one wish, it would just be to just live with animals and just leave the world behind. And
Just be totally in the moment.
yeah, and in another life I do work with behavioural issues with horses as well. That's another passion of mine, but I do find it quite difficult sometimes working with people and their mindsets, because people do think that animals are sort of property, and whenever you think you own something, you think you can treat it however you like, you know. And
You're not thinking of that kind of back and forth connection at all, are you? You're thinking like that.
exactly. So yeah, just drawing them really is just another way of showing my appreciation for them.
With your sideline animal sanctuary, didn't you also study environmental conservation as well?
Yeah, well, I just want to try and protect the natural world, really, because you can see what a mess it's in at the moment, and I really wanted to try and help somehow. But I do find that art is a really good way of bringing that message across as well, because if you love nature, you see it in drawings and pictures, the last thing you want to do is see it destroyed. So it's just another way of using it in my pictures to sort of get the beauty of nature across and how important it is for us.
Yeah. Again, it's building that connection, isn't it? And then as we care, then we want to protect and look after and
Yeah, I wanted to get people to really look a lot closer at the environment and surrounding them and what's going on, and not turn a blind eye to the destruction. And because most people are so used to what they see around them, they think that it's normal. You know, they think that a wood is somewhere they go for a walk over there. They don't realise that where the concrete used to be trees, you know, before it was decimated and before all the animals that lived there had nowhere to go, so they all died. And how we keep encroaching on the natural world, as though again it's property that we can just do what we want with, without any consequences.
We need to get people feeling the same love as they do for their pets, but feeling it for the whole of nature, really, don't we?
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah, like they're feeling that connection with it, as though it's a living thing and not just something that you go out for a walk in. It's like a living thing, and a piece of artwork helps bring that into your home
Definitely.
as well.
Yeah.
So I love animals, I love nature, and I love pencils. And people love their animals and love pets and love having pictures done, because I've commissioned loads of pictures myself in the past, so I kind of gone down that route, but there's certainly lots of other things I'd like to go down as well, and I'd love to do more nature scenes and landscape and things like that, especially with paint, but it's certainly something I'm not particularly good at, so that will be
More the
future.
side to sort of explore for your own creativity, a bit more like the play side of things, but then the pencil portraits of pets is more kind of what the inspiration is leading to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and how exciting that. You'll never get to the end of that, you'll never have like learnt everything.
Yeah, and then I'll die one day and someone else will have to start learning from scratch.
I'll
finally get it. I'll finally get it out. You know, yes, I can do a brilliant portrait, and
That's it.
you can only do so many in your life. You know, that's the thing. You only got so much time to do so much work.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I was talking to this other artist the other day, and he's very successful. He shows in like galleries all around the country, and he was saying that he's been diagnosed with quite a serious condition, and he suddenly realised that he's still got so much more he wanted to show, and it gave him so much inspiration to he can't stop painting. He says he paints from morning till night because he's got so much he wants to share, and he's so worried he's not going to have time to like get it all out. And that's sometimes how you feel, a bit like there's just not enough time to get it out and to do what you want to do. It's like it is a really exciting, amazing thing, really.
Yeah.
When you find it.
Yeah, it is that like pure passion that like really drives you on, and you have to create and just keep going. Really fascinating to hear more about your inspiration and where all this comes from. So thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Bye.
I was lost in the woods under dust, and the fairies found me, and they led the way, they cleared the way to my heart. All the hurt, all the pain under the skin, I had fainted. They carried me, they cleared the way to my heart. Thank you to magic for rescuing me. Thank you to summer for fairies. Blowing glitter in the wind. I had fallen head first into love with another complete stranger, and he robbed away, taking most of me when he left. When Mama told me to keep far from these underhanded men, and I'd be whiter than the sight of a new wed bride. Oh, thank you to magic for rescuing me. Thank you to summer for fairies. Blowing glitter in the wind. And I'd be lost in the woods, yet today if they wouldn't have